Hi everybody, it's Brandt Morgan here. I think you'll all agree that having your own business and trying to run it on a daily basis with all of the demands and details that have to be taken care of can become pretty discouraging and overwhelming sometimes. So I want to leave you with a few ideas to lift your spirits during times of discouragement and overwhelm. The first of those things is to go back to your beginnings, back to when you were just thinking about starting your business, and ask yourself, why am I in business in the first place? If you go back to that original why, I'll almost guarantee you'll get to the heart of it, because you'll get to the heart of the reason you're in business in the first place. There probably was some special event or realization, or maybe somebody unique that you met who you realized you could serve, and that suddenly you realized, oh my gosh, I've got something really special here to offer other people, something that's going to help them grow and expand and maybe even transform their lives. And I can offer that as a service to other people. And then it became more than just an idea for a good business. It became a calling. So that's what I'm saying. Ask yourself, why am I in business? In other words, what was my original calling when I went into this? Get back in touch with that. And closely related to that is the second question to ask yourself, who am I in business for? And you guys have all intimately gotten in contact with your ideal client, gotten to know what makes him or her tick, and what problems they have that keep them up at night that you can help them solve. And in getting to know them that intimately, you've developed a pretty specific, almost personal relationship with that ideal client, and they've probably grown on you as time has gone by, and you've discovered more about them as you've sent out questionnaires and trial balloons with different products and services, and you've gotten responses from them that tell you more about who they are, what they want and need, and they tell you more about how you can serve them. So that's a part of what you need to ask yourself when you're feeling a sense of overwhelm or discouragement, and that question of why am I doing this comes up. Go back to your original why and your original who, and realize that you never were in it just for yourself or just to make a living or just because it was a good idea. It's because it was a calling. Right? It's something that touched you, and that maybe through some realization or wonderful thing that you'd learned through your life journey, you realized, oh my gosh, I can share this with other people. So you're sharing a part of yourself. Once you get back in touch with what it is you are sharing and who you're sharing it with, that goes a long way to overcoming a sense of discouragement and overwhelm. And along with that personal relationship, so to speak, there's also a sense of, with the daily demands of most businesses, you can get so caught up in methods and details and making a profit that you forget that you're in it as a service, and that the profits will take care of themselves as long as you're tuned into your ideal client and are really being of service to them. So keep that in mind too. It's always good to, when you're feeling discouraged or overwhelmed, to come back to that sense of being in service to something larger than yourself. Another really important thing, especially related to overwhelm, is that in most cases, overwhelm is a situation where you've gotten so focused on the details that you can't see the forest for the trees. Your mind has gotten convinced that it needs to do everything right now. And the load is just much too great to handle. And you don't know what comes first or what comes next or how to do them. altogether. The problem is not that you have a lot of things to do. The problem is that the mind is convinced you have to do them all now. And the fact of the matter is, you can only do one thing now. So again, get clear on why you're in business, who you're in business for, that it's a service, and that yes, there are lots of things you need to do, but you can only do one thing now. So choose based on your strategy and your overall business planning, which you have on a calendar. Choose the one thing that you can do now, and then do that. And have you ever noticed, you guys, even though there might be 1,000 things you need to do, there's only one thing you can do now. And when you actually get around to doing all those other things, they're all done in the now too. Everything that we ever do is now. So that's a little trick to remind the mind that it only has one thing to do at any given moment. And that's whatever it can and should be doing right now. So take care of that one now thing in this moment, and then the next moment will appear as the next now, during which you can do the next thing. And then one by one, you will check those things off, take one step after another, and step by step by step, in a logical progression of actions that you have outlined as part of your business strategy, you will reach success, which in some ways means more clients, in other ways means more sales. It means the maintenance of your lifestyle, or maybe even the expansion of your lifestyle, and wonderful relationships and everything you've ever dreamed of. But those things will not happen all of a sudden, and they won't happen without setbacks. They won't happen without mistakes, you guys. So this brings me to the last thing, and that is, don't try to do everything perfectly. Just do your best with each thing that you do. Go ahead and make mistakes. It's the only way you're going to succeed. One mistake after another, after another, after another. In fact, even one failure after another, as long as you keep picking yourself up, will lead to success. So the measure of success isn't that you got there by doing everything perfectly. It's how many mistakes you made and learned from, and how many failures even you had, that you managed to pick yourself up after each one and keep on going. That's the measure of your courage, your persistence and perseverance, and ultimately your success. So those are just a handful of things to keep in mind, you guys, when the inevitable sense of discouragement sets in, the inevitable sense of overwhelm, because it happens to everyone. Nobody's immune to it. But the thing that sets successful entrepreneurs apart from those who aren't successful is that they remembered why they're in business, who they're in business for, that it's a service, and that you can only do one thing at a time as best you can. Do those things, remember those things, and you'll be in much better shape to bring yourself back in moments of discouragement and overwhelm. Okay, hope that's helpful. That's all for now, and take good care of yourselves, and we'll see you soon.